Hello, YouTubes. How you guys doing? I know. Another like, oh my gosh, I'm still alive and I still occasionally make content. All right, it's been a long time. Let me preface this with this. I'm gonna try to do this more often, like really, like actually disciplined. Make videos every couple months. Honestly, I mean that's a really long time, but that's where I'm at right now. And let me give you a table of contents for this video. Uh, I'm going to do a recap, kind of RPG Ghost of Christmas Past, and then present, and then future. I'll talk about October to October, 21 to 22, and then what's going on right now, what I hope to do in the future, as far as RPGs go, and then general future, which will involve both life and gaming. So, current life status, hopefully. There's somebody taking a walk right behind me. Hopefully I don't catch that dude in the camera too much. So when I left off last time, it was October of 21. I was just about to start contract work from my old former employer, just through a contractor, through a contract job. And still doing that. Pays really well. Helps out the family, I'm sure. But it's not really bringing my career back to life. I have plans for that. But that's where I'm at right now, still working like almost a full-time week. The boys are in school. Yes, boys. So in that time frame, we actually got pregnant again, which is really surprising since we struggled with infertility for so long. And then, 12 years, or I guess 10 years into marriage, pop. So we got two boys. So now it's like 2.5 and a 3-month-old. And that takes up a lot of time. So, moving into RPG Ghost of Christmas Past, we did do the short campaign or long adventure that I was talking about doing. One friend who hadn't roleplayed before, and my wife and I ran it. It was in Rolemaster, and we did use Unified, the beta rules, and working on my second personal setting that I've created that was involving a bit more player world building in it. So that went well. It was nice to do some world building with my players during character creation, and then occasionally, pausing and in play and being like, okay, so what exactly that going to look like, or this going to look like? What do we think's out there? It wasn't like cooperative story building. I don't ever go that far, but it was nice. Excuse me. So that was good. We had a nice little campaign. One of the things that I've moved on to doing, especially for Rolemaster, at least in the editions where you pick a group and get biological stats and skills refer to training, right? So that's more of a reflection of, especially during character creation, like the adolescent years, that's more of a reflection of your culture. And it's clear in the RMU rules that that's what that is. You design a cultural pack, you pick a culture, and that's what gives you your starting skills. So those aren't tied per se to the stats, but what I've decided to do is also, like, you might be human, but maybe you're in a culture that's just more physical, and whether you're talking like microevolution or just, what would effectively be stat gains during your growing up years, your childhood, your adolescence, might have slightly different stats. So I've basically gone to, sorry, I'm taking a walk, obviously, and my out of shape butt is starting to breathe a little heavier while I'm talking. I've moved on to just calling it peoples, right? And that encompasses both the genetic stuff and the cultural stuff. Just had a thought now. If I think a human biological might have like more constitution because of the area they're in, rather than representing it as microevolution. I could also just like put a stat gain in culture, I guess. That could be a possibility. I hadn't thought about that before. Okay, I'm gonna cut this right here and maybe stitch videos together. So, be right back. So that went well. She enjoyed role playing and she wanted to do a lot more. She loved world building as a concept. She actually is already running her own game with one specific friend who's a close friend. So she wanted to, and she didn't even do it in Rolemaster. She took on a whole other system. It was it Fate? Yeah, it was Fate. She took on Fate because that was one of the things that we talked about playing originally. And what we did, our plan, which having a new baby has completely interrupted all that. Our plan, try to get the sun out of the camera. Our plan was that I wanted to take long adventures, short campaigns, however you want to look at it, to do my world building, right? Like, so they didn't have a people's choice. We're going to play these people, these humans that live in mountains. All right, now let's talk about that together and let's build up some aspects of them. Then we're going to play some other short campaign in some other system that I haven't tried yet. We had to match minds, Fate, something. Then we would come back to Rolemaster Unified, same setting, the new one, and pick another set of people, right? Let's play the Elves of the Plains and build them up. That was the concept that we were going to do. We just haven't moved on because baby in life. But anyways, that all went really well. And she's already, like I said, running a Fate game. That's amazing. Also, actually, I had like pneumonia for like a month. It's chest cold, which is why I'm paying attention to take this walk right now. I need to get this, I'm over the ammonia, but I need to get this chest congestion up and out. And I need to be moving around a bit more to do that. Sorry, truck. So yeah, so on top of having a baby and everything, I ended up having pneumonia and needing to get as much rest as I could and not get my face in the new baby's face, and the 2-year-old with asthma who spent a week in the hospital, mostly in the NICU because of problems breathing because of his asthma and having just a cold. So wife had to carry basically all the duties, as well as going back to her retail GM job right after Black Friday, all at the same time with no help from me. It was rough. That was well, actually, we're not done with RPG Ghost of Christmas Present. Rolemaster Unified has been released. It's just a core book right now. That was released on December 3rd. It's only available on DriveThruRPG as a PDF right now. Their plan is to give it a month or two to find typing mistakes and stuff like that, and errata it up a little bit, and then offer a print on demand. And they also said, I think on the forum or on the Discord, that private message somebody or other if you buy the PDF, and when they come out with the POD, they'll basically like give you a discount of some kind. That's what I was told. So that's fun. My mother has gifted me supposedly some money to get it. I haven't seen it yet, but that's fine. I don't know where it's at. That's all it is. To get that, because that was basically the only thing on my Christmas list. Like I said, core's out, so it's got weapons tables, the races, the skills, all that stuff, GM stuff. There are no treasure. There's no treasure, so there's not a treasure companion yet, or treasure law or anything like that. That's coming later. Creature law is coming later, and spell law is coming later. So you'll have the spell, the casting and semi-casting and hybrid casting professions, but you won't have any of those spells. Or actually, unless they move things around, like the spell attack tables were in core, right? So you could just say this guy knows a firebolt and roll in the table, or you could continue using the beta rules if you have them. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to looking at that when I can. RPG Ghost of Christmas Future, I still want to run some other system with people, probably this friend and my wife, if we can. It is becoming more difficult to get my wife into our role-playing games because we have to manage the existence of these two little boys. So that's getting tricky, especially since the gal that we are playing with, it's usually one of the people who jumps up and throws her hands up first if we ask for someone to help watch the boys. She loves our boys. So I don't know what that's going to look like. It's going to be tricky. I still would like to do either Fate or Mutants and Masterminds first, and then go back to role-playing, or Rolemaster. Though, it's been such a long time, I might just go back to Rolemaster, I don't know. But I really do want to see those other systems at play. In play. Both statements are true. So that's basically all of role-playing future, right? Like what I hope to do around the time constraints of being a father of two little boys. And this kind of gets to future life in general, which is that one of the reasons that I've said this before, and I even made this like really long video on my channel like years ago, probably 3 years ago now or so. I got my computer science degree in the end of 2006. I'm trained in object-oriented languages like everybody else. My first employer, though, offered me a job for mainframe stuff, which wasn't even the mainframe stuff that you see now. Like, it was actually like this stuff from the 1960s, 1970s. And I never thought anything of it. I think about things a little bit more philosophically, I guess, than the technical-minded people of IT. So I didn't think anything of staying in that group, working for that stuff for 10 years. I didn't think anything of it. But that's what killed my career. And I had plans to take boot camps or a class or whatever for modern language to just show that, hey, I'm still capable of doing it. You can have some confidence in hiring me. Because that's what I wanted to do. Now, whether it's just the passage of time of really haven't been in development per se since 2014, and originally I left that job in 2017, haven't been the primary provider of my family since 2018, which is really where we want to be. I'm not saying that's an absolute rule for everybody, but that's definitely true for us. My wife's got a nice job, but it's retail, it's stressful. She doesn't enjoy it more than she would enjoy just being home with the boys. We don't enjoy sending the boys to a daycare that has a kid who hits that we can't do anything about. We prefer things to change. So whether it's just all that just kind of wearing on me, or just getting space and time distance from it, but I have decided that I am okay sticking with the old world. There's just, aside from taking a class and putting it on my resume, there's nothing on my resume that someone who's hiring a current Java, Python, C# programmer, whatever, would like to see. The railroad didn't even use the same database system that a lot of people do. So even though SQL doesn't really vary much from provider to provider, they're so skittish. The employers are so skittish. So to get to the point that I've decided, you know what, if my strength on my resume is the old stuff, I've at least got half of that stuff. Let's, instead of taking a class in a modern language, let's study up some old stuff. Because you do a look for jobs, and there's plenty of mainframe jobs available. So, to wrap up this little part, that's what I'm planning on doing. That is my first priority out of taking care of the immediate needs, like basic needs of my family. That is my first priority ahead of role playing or anything else like that, is to put this stuff on my resume so I can get back into development. Even if I just get one contract job, that will set me going, because I'm 210% confident that I will show them that I'm capable and competent, and that will just lead to the next contract, or maybe just like actual salary employment. Now, what will it look like after that? Once I have that employment under my belt, my wife can say, "Yay, goodbye retail," and the boys can come home. What's gaming going to look like after that? And I say gaming because this is not just RPGs. I quit streaming a while ago, right? Because I just couldn't find the consistent schedule to stream. And how much do I miss streaming? 50%? 40 to 60%. Let's just put it around there. Do I miss streaming? If I was really getting something out of it, I would go back. But it's definitely not the first thing on my list at all. Obviously, role-playing is up there. And that's something I'd like to do, for sure. But what's actually become an even higher priority for me is indie game development. That's something I've dabbled in here and there, dipped my toes into the water, moved super slow because I'm biting off too much to chew, or I don't have like a schedule that I have written down to do it, and so I work, in spurts, and then for like a month I'm thinking more about world design for one of my role-playing games, or coming up with an adventure or campaign idea or whatever. Or about a new board game, and I'm totally into like trying to get everybody to come play it soon. That never goes anywhere. But obviously, I'm a developer. And I have lots of game ideas, including some that revolve around role-playing, right? To make console/PC role-playing games. I actually did talk about that in the previous video, where one of the ideas I had for an RPG system I decided would just work best as a computer-aided thing. So I have ideas. I've always listened occasionally to YouTube videos from developers showing how to do something in Unity or whatever, or just game design. I've been listening to game design for years. Used to listen to Extra Credits, then I listen to this person here, this person there, talking about issues and thoughts. So my top goal, honestly, is going to seriously sit down and get a game produced. That was actually what I decided about 6 months ago, 9 months ago. I was like, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna get it done this time. I committed myself to it. And then I talked to my manager at the contract company. He's like, well, if you want to get another job, you need to study some Python. And I was like, well, that's a higher priority, right? Getting a job is a higher priority. So like right after I committed to getting a game done, real life stepped in and said, this is of more priority, higher priority. Yep, okay, it is. It is. And I'm still in that same place, right? So I'm going to get this older stuff and the newer stuff on my resume, get a job. And let me just do the caveat. If this fails and I don't get a job, that just puts us in a place where when this contract is over, the boys will be home again, and I'll be watching over them, and I will look to find the time through the day to get indie game development done. I have like 10 ideas, and I've learned much more about how to successfully approach it and to have completion of ideas. And so looking forward to putting those into practice and getting that done. I would like to say that I got at least one of my main ideas, not practice things, not trash that you just throw up on, which IO is that? Itch.io, just to say that you've done something, one actual idea of mine done. So that's a goal. I do believe that I can get role-playing in around that, right? I shouldn't just be working, parenting, working on your game. I mean, that's already a lot, and you would think the three of those things would take all the time anyways, and maybe it really should. But role-playing still brings lots of ideas to my head, right? And it's not just mechanical, right? Any world development and world development ideas and plot ideas that I have for role-playing, tabletop role-playing, could work into any kind of video game design, whether it's lore, missions, stories, characters, or mechanics. So that's still useful. And doing it in role-playing brings up organic ways to challenge and generate ideas, in addition to other people's ideas coming into play, right? And being formed and molded by other thoughts around me. So even from a development idea or perspective, I think just getting in tabletop role-playing is still it's actually important. So that's the plan. If you roll time forward to that point, I'd probably be making YouTube videos about my progress, or maybe streaming on Twitch again, or YouTube about doing like live development. Like, here I am, I'm going to try to work this thing out. Come watch me be an idiot. And also the Discord that I still have from being a streamer will morph into where I do communication with people and posting pictures about development and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that I still won't have stuff here to say about tabletop role-playing. All right, that's it. I think that's all the topics. I hope all is doing good with you. If you've got an update video to post, please make it and link me down here. And see you guys later. Bye.